Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled, A Cruel Lord. Lord, will you are edified. Video was inspired from the platform Blavity. Or Blavity. Article entitled Trump Administration Proposes Eliminating Section 8 Housing Vouchers Slashing Federal Housing Assistance, published 2 days ago. The Trump administration is seeking to eliminate Section 8, the federal program that provides housing vouchers to assist low-income households. The White House is also looking to enact major cuts to other housing assistance and to transfer much of the authority of housing support to the states, even as experts warn of negative impacts to individuals and a worsening of the housing crisis as a result of these proposals. Will Fisher, Senior Fellow and Director of Housing Policy at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, meanwhile pointed to the 2-year cap on assistance as leaving many people vulnerable. There are going to be lots of folks who continue to need help to pay the rent. And if this policy arbitrarily cuts off their assistance after 2 years, a lot of those people will not be able to pay the rent, Fisher said, per the Washington Post. Without continued assistance, Fisher warned, they'll fall behind. They'll be at risk of eviction. Overall, then millions of people could find it harder to pay for and maintain housing if the Trump administration's cuts go through. The administration's proposed cuts might be altered or rejected during the budget process, but it is clear that the White House wants to see major changes, including significant budget cuts, in the ways that the federal government fights homelessness and unaffordable housing. And a lot of Israelites will be affected, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, based on the lineage of our fathers. First precept, Isaiah chapter 19 and 4. And the Egyptians, which are modern-day Americans, will I give over. Who's given over? Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shah. He controls every fucking thing in all aspects of life. And to the hand, meaning power, might, or control of a cruel Lord. So how cruel is Donald Trump? Experts warn of negative impacts to individuals and a worsening of the housing crisis as a result of these proposals. So he doesn't care. Americans will fall behind. Americans will be at risk of eviction. Overall, then millions of people could find it harder to pay for and maintain housing. So this is how cruel Donald Trump is. And a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. Woe to rebellious children, okay, Israelites, said Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering, meaning delving into all these philosophies, okay? And the philosophy that these Israelites should be assimilating to is the standard of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, but not of my spirit. All these philosophies in America has nothing to do with the standard of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, that they may add sin to sin. And this is the result of adhering yourself to these philosophies. Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, meaning what? How you behave based on a belief system. And America is modern day Egypt. And have not asked at my mouth, because the prophets are instructing you to flee America from a spiritual perspective and assimilate into the ways of our fathers, spoken of in Jeremiah 6 and 16. And have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, meaning they're willing to accept any and everything, okay, America has to offer to maintain their house, to keep their car, and to have money in their checking accounts, okay? And to trust, to believe, to have confidence, have your faith in the shadow of Egypt, this system, which the system is going to lead these niggas into what? Receiving Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. So let's jump to Revelation chapter 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast, America, coming up out of the earth, America's time to rule. And he had two horns, referring to the Democratic and the Republican parties. Like a lamb, both parties appear and make it seem that their interest is for the welfare of the American people. And he spoke as a dragon, because they do the bidding of the elite, okay? These 13 Edomite families that control this entire system. And he spoke as a dragon. And we can use this article for a case example. Trump admin proposes eliminating Section 8 housing vouchers. Experts warn of negative impacts to individuals and a worsening of the housing crisis. Millions of people will be affected. Speaking as a dragon, because ultimately Trump is ushering in what? A digital system, all right? Out of chaos, give them a solution, oppress them until their, meaning the people, are requesting and begging for a solution, which will be that mark, okay? Last precept, let's go into Revelation chapter 12 and verse 14. But she, referring to the nation of Israel, was given 2 wings in the time frame around 66, 67 AD. This is going into the events of the Roman persecution on our nation. But she was given 2 wings like those of a great eagle. Why? So she could fly, meaning escape, flee to the place. Okay, now America is that place prepared for her in the wilderness. Do you see how life imitates the scriptures? Okay, the art is the scriptures. She could fly to the place America prepared for her in the wilderness. The wilderness is symbolic for Africa and the other parts of the world, right? There, meaning America, she would be cared for and protected. How so? How so? Section 8 housing vouchers. But guess what? Now the dragon is ready to blow fire on the woman. Okay? This is an example of she will be cared for and protected. All these governments programs, okay, to care for our nation. But guess what? Trump is unplugging these systems, terminating these systems, because he's ready to usher in a new world order on the behalf of Yahweh Hashem Al-Shah. And why do I say this? Because he has 2 sides. Okay, he controls the right and the left. Trump, okay, is bought and paid for. He works for the shadow government. Okay, he's the puppet and they are the puppet master. From the dragon, now the dragon, talking about what? What is the dragon talking about? The pagan Rome Empire, right? And America is pagan Rome reloaded, okay? And NATO and the EU is part of this beast system. For a time, 100 years, times 200 years, and half a time, 350 years. So Lord will, this was an edifying lesson. Shalom.